Hey guys, welcome back to the Ultimate Fantasy Locker Room. Thanks for tuning in. We're having our candy withdrawals, our Halloween hangover. I know I already rated my kids' bag for the Reese's for sure and the Kit Kats. You guys tell me, how'd your holiday weekend go?
Well, it went pretty good. It was a lot of candy, a lot of walking, and a lot of heartburn because for some reason now I eat candy and Reese's peanut butter cups. They give me heartburn.
Oh yeah,
that's unfortunate.
It's the chocolate, the chocolate and the peanut butter will get you.
Never happened before. First time.
You look like a pumpkin too. So how was your weekend?
I'm gonna let you get that one.
Good Lord. I'm going to keep tally. I'm only going to let him get away with so many, and then I'll give you a signal, and you got to get back.
He'll give back.
Oh, don't worry.
I know.
Stick around, people. You're going to hear a whole lot of stuff.
It was fun, man. Halloween was crazy. It was a busy week going into it. The kids' costumes came together nicely. Here's the thing. All right, so I take the kids for their Halloween costumes, right? We go to the Spirit Halloween store like 2.5 weeks ago, right?
How do you explain to them why your face is plastered all over the store?
What?
He's scary. He's on a roll.
Dude, he's all right. I'm like, all right. I get it. Funny. All right, buddy. Anyway, we go there, drop like $230, right, on all their costumes and all their shit, right? And then I get them. We couldn't find bags to match their costumes, so then I go on Amazon. I get plain canvas bags. Then I take 3 hours out of my day on Saturday to paint these bags to match their costumes. All said and done, like over $300 I spent on Halloween for like $20 worth of candy.
What were you?
I mean, that's a crazy holiday to me.
It's the experience, though.
I was lazy dad. That's what I was. I walked around, pair of sweatpants, believe it or not, T-shirt.
Yep, that sounds like the uniform.
Fantastic time. Eating some candy.
It was on Sunday Funday too.
That sucked.
So and I didn't realize that till midweek, and I'm like,
sure didn't.
Oh my God, I have to go trick or treating instead of watching football.
It was a down week though.
But
the football, I was a little disinterested.
It was a down week, and then some major injuries occurred too, and it just felt like Halloween drew our attention away from football. Had we had our attention, maybe those injuries don't happen.
I don't know if I agree with you,
maybe,
but I get what you said. It's wishful thinking.
Yeah, it felt weird.
You never know.
I know you guys watch Red Zone, right?
Yes.
For the most part.
Nah, I usually just tune into a game. Red Zone pisses me off because it jumps around too much for me.
All right, so I'm going to direct this at you. Okay. So Red Zone, it jumps around too much. That's the beauty of it.
I know, but like you can't. You're like
I understand what you're saying because you start getting into a game, and then it's gone.
Bingo.
I like Red Zone anyway. So
somebody who gets
there's a clear difference from the beginning of the day and like the second slate of games on Red Zone. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot more exciting the first half of the games.
Yeah.
Just because I think the time, you get to see them. It's just a drop off at night.
Well, yeah. I mean, usually 4 o'clock.
Less games, but they're also less exciting for some reason.
They usually are.
There's something about the 1 o'clock, everything kicking off at the same time, and then 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock. There's a lot more juice.
At 1, maybe at 4, you've just you're spent.
Yeah, and I think at 1 this week, I don't think there was the same juicy. You had 2 blowouts, and Halloween happened. It just felt like, you know what? It kind of worked out for Halloween. I'd say Halloween won the draw between football and Halloween this year.
I mean, I can't complain.
Think it did.
I can't complain too much. I mean, the game that I wanted to see was actually the early game. We weren't going trick or treating till later in the day, so it kind of worked out for me too.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, all right. I mean, I guess that's enough about Halloween. What do you guys say we move into maybe a more serious topic with pressing issues, and we're going to talk about Mr. Henry Ruggs.
This
and
is a little too serious, man.
I'll start it off by saying, our thoughts, prayers are with the victim and the victim's family.
Absolutely.
It's a scary thing, right? especially with all of us that drive a lot, have our significant others that drive a lot. It's something you don't ever want to see, and I know we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the football side a little bit, and we're going to talk about Ruggs a lot, so I just wanted to highlight the victim and the family. But that being said, I mean, man, these are one of those things. I think we're all guilty in our life of driving a little, having a beer or two and getting in the car and driving home and feeling okay. And I don't know how drunk he was, and I don't know what his
blood alcohol.
Yeah, I haven't read that yet, but man, it just makes you think twice about doing it for sure. And it's a sucky situation for the victim, and even for this young guy that's just made a bad decision, and now he's gonna have to deal with the consequences, and there's a whole another family that's gonna have to deal with them too.
Yeah, his life has changed forever.
Everybody involved his life, and you brought up a good point. How many of us go out to dinner and we have a glass of wine with dinner, or we have a Foster's oil can with dinner.
Yeah, drum. We call it a drum.
Typical, the short keg. How many of us honestly go out to dinner and you have a glass of wine and you drive home? We don't know. We don't know what the extent of his blood alcohol content was. Yeah. Was he out partying? I mean, 4 o'clock in the morning. My first thought is 4 o'clock in the morning. He's probably shit faced, right? Yeah. He's probably out partying way too hard. He's probably doing stupid 22-year-old things, racing car, whatever he's doing, And it's unfortunate because you don't know what was that person doing at 4 o'clock in the morning. Were they a productive citizen that was on their way to work? And that doesn't matter either. I mean, it's a life taken. It doesn't matter what that other person was doing, but the fact that a professional who is supposed to be a role model in the community, getting behind the wheel of a vehicle, obviously inebriated enough to take another life. He's got so many options available to him, right? Yeah. He's got a ton of money. He's got a ton of support. I mean, shit, the teams have guys that follow these guys around to make sure they don't get themselves in trouble. And it's just a shame that he didn't make better choices, call an Uber or call Lyft, something like that.
I think everybody can do that, even people. I mean, I can afford an Uber, like I think we all tend to just
think that we
can do it. Yeah, and there's probably stories like this make you rethink that a little bit.
Yeah, it's a shame. Yeah, and it's a shame to start the show off like that too, because that kind of feels like we just transitioned from the 1 o'clock games to the 4 o'clock games.
Yeah, that's what happened. We've just seen it happen in real time.
A whole 2 minutes.
There it was.
Yeah, so we'll move on for that. And like we said, the thoughts and prayers to the family and the victim, and hopefully Ruggs, it doesn't, at the end of the day, he's a young guy. It's a mistake. Hopefully he could rebound from it. Hopefully it doesn't end. I don't know about his career in the NFL, but, hopefully he finds his way, and we'll leave it at that.
I think I read this sentence. It's minimum 2 years prison time.
Up to 20.
Up to 20. And they usually fall somewhere in the between. In the 10-year range, something like that.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna move on, and we're gonna move on to Cleveland and KC, two teams in the AFC that played in the AFC Championship last year. Yep. Am I correct? Both 4-4. It seems like. I'd say they're both going. I mean, Kansas City eked out a win last night that arguably, they very easily could have lost that game. They did lose it for about 5 seconds with that interception. Mahomes threw another 2 interceptions. And that second one was a bad one. That wasn't a tip ball. That was into an underneath rotating corner, a slot corner. Man, and the two teams a team that was a Super Bowl favorite and another team that was not too far behind them. Yeah. Are now both sitting at 4-4. And I know Cleveland looked bad this week, but and it's partly due to Mayfield being hurt. But you got to factor it in because he's hurt. He's going to stay hurt.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? Who do you think out of the two is in better position? Or forget the better position. Who do you think winds up making the playoffs out of the two?
Well, first off, tip of the cap to Baker Mayfield. He's changing my opinion of Baker Mayfield in the fact that this guy wants to be a leader, right? This guy has this humeral fracture, non-throwing arm, would keep a lot of guys sidelined. He wants to get back in there and getting back in there a lot sooner than he probably should, and wants to lead his team to victory. Just so happens, that team's dealing with a lot of their own issues. Chubb has been out. He returned this week, but he's been out a couple of weeks. Kareem Hunt is down. Dearness Johnson, they're trying to factor in. and they don't have any wide receivers, man. OBJ is non-existent. You have Landry and Njoku, Bryant. Like, you have all these guys that are these middle-tier dudes that are fighting over targets, and it just seems like their offense has no identity. They seem kind of lost without that 1-2 punch of Chubb and Hunt.
That's exactly what happened. As soon as those two guys went down, it stopped.
Yeah.
Because they were a juggernaut. They were just looking unbeatable.
That
Juggernaut,
offense,
huh?
yeah, Juggernaut.
What do you think about KC?
KC, man,
They look like shit, right? Just
they
say
look
it.
really bad. I mean, they have position players that are worldly, but it seems like, well, they have a bad offensive line. So
Yes.
the offensive line is,
It shows you how important it is.
and the lack of a run game is also there too.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
it seems like Mahomes is just doing more
Yeah.
than he's really should be.
Yeah.
And, he's trying.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why the interceptions, are going up because he is taking risks.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be.
He's
Tell
trying
me
to-
more.
And
He's definitely trying to make something out of nothing.
yeah, that's what it is. I mean, Edwards-Helaire was hurt for a little bit, and he just hasn't been what he was last year.
Here's the thing: Andy Reid's consistently in bottom 5 of the league in rushing percentage, so they're never going to run the ball a lot.
Yeah.
It's about them being effective when they do.
Being effective. Yes.
But they haven't been for a while. The offensive line was bad last year. They got to the Super Bowl. I do think the biggest problem is the pressing by
no defense.
Mahomes.
And no defense as well. Their defense.
That's,
really
yeah, the
isn't great
defense has
either.
been bad. Yeah. I mean, you think about what they went up against last night. The Giants are down, your second string running back. I mean, at a point, Shepard got hurt. And you're dealing with, guys that are like 4th and 5th receivers, and they're still able to move the ball. So yeah, they're bad. I mean, they're surprisingly bad
Here's
for
what
some
I'm
of
a
the players they have on that side of the ball.
Here's what I'm a little concerned about is where's Travis Kelce, man? He's supposed to be the best tight end in the league, and he seems pretty much non-existent this year. So if you went out and you spent a high draft pick on Kelce thinking that the top of the tight end food chain was that much better than the next tier, and you were selecting him as a wide receiver 1, I mean, I'm guilty of saying this year, go out and get him.
I think everybody was saying that, though. So
Right, but I mean, we're talking
him
about
and Waller, they've both fallen off.
Waller too, yeah.
we're talking about some, Father Time catching up to some guys. I can't help but wonder, is it catching up to Kelce? Kelce had 7 targets. He had 4 receptions for 27 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, they're terrible numbers by Kelce's standards.
What was his numbers the weeks before? Because I know they doubled both him and Tyreek Hill most of the game.
Yeah. But I mean, you did see in this game, Tyreek Hill finally found ways to get open. I think Hill was getting frustrated because he knows that he's uncoverable at times, and he was getting frustrated that he was getting shut down. And then he explodes for the 12 catches this week. Kelce, let's see.
I think, but watching most of the game, I think it was more about Reed scheming up those opportunities for him because there was a few passes that were in the backfield, and I think if he pitches it forward, they call it a pass. A lot of little motion to screens that they ran for him.
Like that.
Yeah, so I think Reed is getting more creative, realizing that the offense is a little bit broken.
Yeah, 100%.
And you get him going, he's going to make something happen. So
to come back to the Kelce, you were asking how's he been doing. That he's had 1 touchdown in his last 5 games, very un-Kelce-like.
Yep.
The targets have been there the 3 games prior, 12, 11, and 10, but the receptions and yardage are a little down, 7, 8, 6. He had a stinker 4 weeks ago, four receptions on 6 targets for 23 yards, and he just put up similar numbers again on Monday night, 4 for 7 for 27 yards, both touchdownless games.
Now, could that be that Mahomes just doesn't have the time?
Well, he
Kelce
should
to
have
get
the
down
time.
to get down the field?
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
He's getting short passes.
But Kelce is
Again.
supposed to be, an elite tight end. Like, he's supposed to be that guy that's able to find the
supposed
soft,
to get that yak,
soft spot. Yeah.
All right. Anyway, we're talking a lot about the offenses. Who do you think's making the playoffs, guys?
I would go with Cleveland. I think, once Hunt and Chubb are back,
Yeah.
Landry is, removed a couple of weeks from the injury he had.
Yeah.
And they got to find a way to work OBJ into there. They
I
have
don't
to
know,
find
man.
a
I
way.
just
don't think it's going to work there.
no, I don't either.
I don't know why, really, but
Was today the
I wish we would have traded Slayton for him. That's what we should have done. Slayton can't catch the ball to save his life.
I honestly don't know if either one of these teams make the playoffs, man. You're looking at the Browns sitting in the cellar.
Yeah.
Right? 3 very formidable teams ahead of them.
Yes.
I mean, that's a tough division to win. You got Baltimore, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh.
I can see Cincinnati taking a dip, though.
Can you?
Yes.
I think Cincinnati's actually playing really good ball, and I think that if they can elevate even to the next level, I think Cincinnati challenges.
They just lost to the Jets on the road.
I think they're like a year out.
They're only a couple. They're a couple
very
pieces
close
away.
Yeah, definitely.
Then you have the Chiefs. The Chiefs are tied at the bottom of that division with Denver, who I don't like the way Denver looks. I would think Kansas City would finish ahead of them. I would like to believe that the Raiders sitting at 5-2 is probably a fluke. I don't think that stands.
I don't think they're a fluke, though.
But I mean,
we'll see how the Ruggs thing pans out. But
I like the I like the Chargers. I think the Chargers, despite the 4-3 record, I think the Chargers are super talented, and I think they have a team that can go into the playoffs and beat pretty much anybody that they go up against. So,
all right, so who do you say? Chiefs, or I mean, you got to pick one.
I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to say neither one of them make the playoffs.
Okay, so that's not part of what we're doing, but okay. Let's say I would.
Well, how can I? I can't.
If one of the two.
If I had to pick,
that's what. Yes, you have to pick.
You're twisting my titty. Kansas City.
Everybody has to pick.
Kansas City.
I would say Kansas City too, only because the injury to Baker. I don't know how bad it is if he's going to finish the season.
Well, again, that division, the AFC North is going to be difficult.
Well, they're both in tough spots, yeah. But it's just, I don't know. I don't know how they go forward. It seems, I think OBJ put out a tweet yesterday or something in the story saying that it looks like it's not going to work out in Cleveland, and then took it down like 30 seconds later, and it got out. Somebody screenshotted it. So, that, it's going to be rough over there.
Doing OBJ things.
Yeah, he's got to. Yeah. Anyway, so.
Total team player.
And then the last thing we'll talk about is a little bit of a funny story. It's a cool story. Mike White made his start after getting thrown into the game against the Patriots, where he looked good in that game. And the guy is the first Jets quarterback to throw for over 400 yards since Vinny Testaverde. Okay, and he played well. I don't know how much you guys watched the game. Nothing, he's not throwing off platform or nothing flashy, but I tell you what he did do. He was very decisive, knew where he wanted to go with the ball, was confident. The veterans on the team seemed to like him a lot.
Yep.
And I tell you what, he's a 26-year-old guy, and with Zach Wilson not playing well, not really showing well yet, except for a half here and there, I think in the Tennessee Titans game in week 1 also. Man, they might have an actual quarterback controversy on their hands if 2 days from now, Mike White goes up and puts up another, I don't think he has to go 400 yards again. And, I wouldn't even be surprised if he has a bad week on a short week for a guy, it could happen. It's a good defense.
Let me ask you a question, though.
Yeah, go ahead.
What did Mike White have to lose?
What does that mean, though?
Absolutely not, because he can just go out and show out at that point. He's got nothing to lose because he knows his ass is on the bench as soon as Zach Wilson comes back. I mean, they just invested, their future in Zach Wilson. So, I mean, I love these kinds of stories, man. I love, like Gardner Minshew when he first came onto the scene. These guys
Gardner Minshew didn't really do this, but yeah.
They have nothing to lose. They come out there and they're like, all right, let's show what I'm capable of, at least to put that seed of doubt in everybody's mind that
I don't think,
maybe you don't have the
I
right
think
guy
you're right,
at
but I think it's more about the coaching staff. Do they let him go back out there with that same mindset? Because if he has nothing to lose and he plays that well, then he can play that well now. Like if I have nothing to lose and I go out and I steal your girlfriend, then now I know I can. So I can keep doing it. This is a bad example, but
that's a pretty
terrible example. Anyway, the point was that now he knows it can be done. So there's no reason to not play with that confidence again. It's just about the coaches. And I think on a short week, if he could go out there and be representative, have a good, clean game, and I mean clean by not having no turnovers, but having a decent game, there's going to be a real question as to whether you go right back to Wilson when he's healthy.
See, now, I think that's how you hold a guy like Mike White back. Being that he had nothing to lose, he came out and he balled out. Now if you start to try to rein him in to then be, all right, now we need you to be settle down, be the clock manager, be the quarterback we need you to be.
Yeah.
No, that's not what made him successful in that game. You need to just go, you say, like, go out there and do what you did last week.
Yeah,
just go out there, run this offense, get silly, throw the ball around. Nobody's thrown for this many yards since Vinny Testaverde. I mean, that's pretty remarkable considering what the Jets have invested at the quarterback position since.
Oh yeah, how many?
Sam Darnold, Zach Wilson,
Mark Sanchez.
Mark Sanchez,
Chad
Pennington.
Yeah.
I mean, they've invested a lot at that position through these drafts, and it's never panned out.
No.
And now they might have 2.
Hell, they might have to.
And I mean, you think about it.
Trade Mike White now.
Mike White. Hey, I'm
sure know what his stock is high.
Some teams asking about him.
Yeah, you're probably not wrong.
4 touchdowns in a game and a half.
Yeah, he looked
Wilson
good.
has 4 the whole season.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, Wilson looks like he has all the talent, but right now not the head for the position.
And
Mike White
and Saleh himself said it's a day-to-day situation.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting too.
And
how he handled that. But.
And also said anything is possible. Now, if you didn't remember, you're talking to the New York media, which they take everything and run with it.
No, for sure.
Now, if you didn't have an inkling in you that you're actually telling the truth, then you're just a moron. I mean, then you're just starting problems. So unless you really believe that
you might start him,
this guy might be the guy.
Yeah.
Think of it. If he is, cool. No one's expecting anything from the Jets this year.
Yeah.
So if Mike White is the guy, then you can trade Zach Wilson in the offseason.
Yep.
He was a second-round pick from this year on a rookie contract, which, of course, is more than normal, but he's still on a contract that is manageable by other teams. And just second pick.
You know what? Let's get into that for a second because you bring up a great point there. Because I think our team, Mitch Trubisky has now written the new laws of the leash that you give these quarterbacks that you draft high, right? You stick with a guy like Trubisky that you traded up for to draft for too long. Look what happens. Your team gets older. It starts to crumble around you. Now you don't just have the quarterback position to fix. You've got to fix everything around you. Yep. So I think teams are going to take note of this, and I think you're going to see them getting off of some of these quarterbacks a little bit sooner than I'm sure the fans want to see, right? The fans are going to bring up 3 years down the road. We traded our whole damn draft for this guy. Why? Why are we giving up on him so soon? Case in point, Mitch Trubisky. That's why you do. You ever have a question, call me, and I'll tell you why you get off a quarterback too soon.
And, I was a fan of Trubisky when they picked him.
I was too. Oh, I had to be.
He landed in a pretty good place.
And he looked pretty good at first.
He looked pretty good against us. And that was preseason, whatever, but still. But he is on a contending team, backing up one of the best quarterbacks out there.
I don't know how you guys turn this into a Bears.
The same way
we're talking about Buffalo.
The same way Rocky does with Cleveland every week.
Well, yeah, Bears to Buffalo. We wouldn't talk about either one of those guys.
Well, we're talking about quarterbacks.
No, we're talking about the Jets. And their quarterback controversy.
The Jets are in a good position.
Do you think they have a quarterback controversy?
I think the Jets go out and get
I don't want to hear about Mitch
Trubisky.
Trubisky's ridiculous.
I think it's the power of this seat, man. Rocky turns every conversation into a Cleveland Browns conversation. There it is.
Does anybody want Andy Dalton?
Listen, all I'll say is this. It was a great day if you're a Jets fan, or maybe a terrible day, because you had Mike White win. You had Geno Smith win. You had Sam Darnold win. You said you had Mark Sanchez get promoted over on Fox to the big show. So a bunch of winners all around, except for the guy that you wanted to win coming to the season, Zach Wilson. So,
all right, man. I don't see a more fitting time.
Ass of the week.
That guy's an asshole.
Man, I can't say enough. I'm going to say that it's a great drop.
It's fantastic drop.
I told him it really reminds me like mid-90s MTV.
Yeah, I could
right?
Like, see that.
Love it. Great work.
It's fantastic, man. I think
whoever did it.
It's probably sitting in a tiny portion of my brain. I went back to that just by default.
All right, so I'm going to leave the floor to you guys. Who is our ass of the week? And please, one at a time.
All right, my man, take it away. Because we're both coming out swinging here.
Ass of the week is Matthew
The guy, right?
The guy?
Nagy. Sorry.
Nagy. That guy. Nagy.
Let me take a sip.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I need to wet the whistle for how much I'm about to tear this guy a new asshole.
I've never,
It's quite a sentence.
You never want someone to be ill.
No.
Or sick. Or anything like that.
You're a good guy.
But I didn't mind that he was going to be away from the game.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with him being away,
yes,
saw a whole different Bear offense.
Completely different.
We lost, yes. That is
true.
That's fine. A lot of that was on our defense.
And that was on the defensive side of the ball. Mm-hmm. Justin Field probably had his best game as a Chicago Bear.
Justin Fields looks like the person that they wanted to draft, and it looked like honestly, it looked like he had the house to himself, and his parents were gone for the weekend.
Now, see,
that's what it looked like.
The thing that I think that I think about is he the kind of quarterback that they're trying to coach? It seemed like going into the season when he started playing, mm-hmm. he never looked to run. Never looked to run. He seemed like he was told, be a pocket quarterback.
Right.
Now, if that's what you wanted, then you go get Matt Jones. You don't get Justin Fields, who can work in the pocket.
Bingo.
But also has the legs of a gazelle and will run past anybody, whether it be linebacker, corner, safety.
He showed it on that touchdown run. That was ridiculous.
Run was one of the best plays of the year so far.
Let me tell you, Matt Nagy is a perfect ass of the week this week because this offense is the same offense that he ran with Mitch Trubisky, the same offense that he ran with Andy Dalton, the same offense that he's run with everybody. You went out and you drafted a difference maker quarterback. You drafted a playmaker. You drafted a guy that can get out of tight situations or terrible breakdowns with his legs, and you tried to immobilize him. You don't do that. Look at this guy. This guy goes through his progressions while he's on the run.
Yeah.
We didn't get that. We couldn't even get Trubisky to go through his progression sitting in the goddamn pocket.
Nope.
Right? We couldn't get Dalton to do anything. We couldn't get anybody to do any of this. Well, he went out and just looked like he was having fun.
So, Fields is who he is. Why are our backups, or why are our other two quarterbacks, Foles and Dalton? You have two totally separate kinds of quarterbacks.
Great guys.
I'm sure they're great guys. I would love to have a beer with them. I really would. But
I'm more of a Dalton guy myself. I like a redhead.
Fire crotch? Okay. Very good.
Excuse me?
It's almost like mixed signals. It's like you have these quarterbacks here that you brought in. They were brought in by Nagy and by Pace. Mm-hmm. But you draft somebody totally different than what they are.
Yeah.
So what were you looking to do? I mean, were you looking to just have the whole Andy Dalton is my guy thing, which, I'm sorry, the best guy should win.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't Andy Dalton, then it had to be Fields.
What I think they did there,
Foles though.
Yeah.
I even forgot.
Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Yeah.
Never mind you guys.
And you know why he's there? Because a lot of the coaches that are in the Bears locker room were on that Philly team.
Winning is all that matters.
So,
So I think what Chicago did is I think Chicago played the odds, right? They knew what they were drafting in Fields, but they knew what they already had in Foles. And then they drafted a guy, or they brought in a guy similar to Foles, also with a lot of experience, right? So there's two guys with a lot of experience that can give a lot to Fields in that regard. But if the mobile quarterback wasn't going to work out, then they had two solid guys that have done it in the past as pocket passer statues. That's how I see it anyway. But now knowing that Fields is going to be your guy, in the offseason, I think you end up getting rid of both of those guys, and now you bring in a mobile backup that's going to be able to at least keep the same game plan that you would have with Justin Fields.
Exactly. So you don't have two separate playbooks, one for the starter, one for whoever's coming off the bench.
And Geno Smith probably.
All of those would be a great bring, honestly.
I'd be fine with that.
It would be a good bring.
I would be completely fine with that. Mm-hmm. Who else? Joshua Dobbs.
Taylor.
There's a bunch of guys that have a similar game.
Tyrod Taylor's perfect.
And for all of those aforementioned reasons, that is why Matt Nagy is definitely the ass of the week. I hope he stays home next weekend.
I thought you guys were going to lay in a little bit heavier.
He might stay home
permanently.
So you guys are hoping for long COVID?
Man, let's just say
a slight complication or two would be nice.
I don't want to see him get pneumonia.
I want him to live.
Wow.
I don't want to see pneumonia, but maybe he's got a prone for another week or two, maybe 3.
Maybe he can't taste.
Maybe into the playoffs.
Maybe he loses his sense.
Sense of smell.
Sense of smell.
I don't know what that has to do with anything.
Well, that's an underlying, that COVID.
Well, no, I know. I'm saying he wouldn't prevent them from coaching the team.
Why wouldn't he? That means he still has COVID symptoms.
That's not how that works. What are you talking about? There's people that
I'm trying to think positive.
There's people that lose their smell and taste for like a year.
I'm trying, Phil.
That was terrible.
I was trying to.
Let's talk about our games this week, guys. I think we've dicked around enough, huh?
Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
So, I mean, let me just say, last week was not great. Not great for me. And not great for a lot of owners with all the injuries. People are scrambling right now.
Brutal. We're
getting right into that wheelhouse where you're going to make your playoff push. And, man, this season has flown by. It's week 9 already. It's pretty crazy.
It is nuts, man. Why is it the build-up takes forever? You get into the season, and it's like...
And it's gone. Yep.
It's gone.
It's actually sad.
I like the build-up, personally.
I do, too. I mean, as we know, I do a lot of drafts, so the build-up is very exciting. The build-up is
most of the fun.
And then...
Some would say.
Then the season, man.
Well, that's when it gets tough.
Flies by.
Yeah.
That's when it gets real tough.
Gets rough.
To build up.
I had a game that my whole bench was either hurt or on a bye.
Yeah.
I just had enough people to field the team.
Yeah.
And, that's what happens now.
Sounds like bad GMing to me. But
I did win that game, though. But
you did?
Yeah.
Who'd you play?
Probably Phil. Did you play
It's
Phil?
probably you.
Yeah.
I think I beat you. Pretty sure I beat you.
No, it wasn't.
Sure?
I haven't won a lot of games this year, but I beat you.
I'm in a few leagues, so I mean.
I'm only in one league with you, though, right?
No, you're in 3 of my leagues.
Yeah. Sorry. Sorry. It's just all a blur at this point. All right, so let's talk about our first game. That is the New York Jets versus the Indianapolis Colts.
That's our Thursday night game of the week. Man, how disappointing are Thursday night games.
I like how you snuck that in there on me.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah.
Why, were you going to say that?
No, I knew you threw the Thursday game in. I didn't know you put it at the top of the list, so we definitely talked about it.
I mean, you have to, because it's
gotta have
Thursday
some
night
kind of order, Phil.
All right, so what do we want? Who you looking at here in this matchup? I know T.Y. Hilton looked good last week, but he got knocked out. Pittman looks like a beast. Running Pittman, but Wentz worries me, man. Wentz worries me.
He's been a little careless with the ball, man. He's been a little Mahomes-ish with the ball. He's been trying to make some plays. The play that he threw the interception for the touchdown is he's getting sacked in the end zone for a safety.
It's not good.
Throws the ball opposite-handed, like 15 feet up in the air, 2 feet in front of him.
But to be fair, I think he only had 1 interception coming into this game on the season, so he's been better.
Yeah.
I think, you're firing up Taylor, obviously. How do you guys feel about Hines? How do you feel? I mean, I think Pittman you have to start at this point.
Pittman is a 100% an every week start at this point. Mm-hmm. Pittman is a monster.
I mean, so...
Anybody else on that offense? Hilton's out again with a concussion.
He's out again.
Yeah. The guy can't stay on the field, but he looked good when he was out there, so...
I like Taylor and I like Pittman here. Obviously, the 2 big guys.
That's about it.
How big? Yeah. All right, so we go
to... Mo Alley Cox, depending on how... slim the pickings are in tight end.
Maybe you stream him as a tight end.
On a
streamer.
All right, what about the other side of the ball? The Jets, they showed some life. I think Michael Carter looked good. Yes. Ty Johnson looked good.
Ty Johnson looked good, too.
Crowder had a decent game. Elijah Moore's getting involved. Mims had an okay... Mims dropped a touchdown. Hit him right in the shoulder. That was pretty bad, but, it's nice to see him getting targeted in the red zone. I think there's a lot of ways you could go. I still think it's kind of touch and go on a short week. Mike White's second start.
I
still trust.
Where's Corey Davis? Is he still?
He didn't play. Yeah. And I'm not sure about his status for Thursday. You want to look that up since you're on the
I'm trying to get
the boob tube there.
Get in there.
So Well, I think with the Jets, I'd feel comfortable. I feel comfortable starting Carter this week, coming off that week. And I might fire up James Crowder.
Jameson.
I call him James. I know.
Oh, James. I
call him
Jimmy Crowder.
We call him James.
What about Mike White, man? Say you're in a super flex league. Say Mike White's your third quarterback. You got a guy on the bench. You fire him up, or do you put in one of your like running back 3, wide receiver 3 type guys? In that spot?
I'm looking for Mike White on the waiver wire if I'm in a super flex league. I don't know that I'm starting him on a short week against this defense, especially when there's a Taysom Hill out there.
But we're not sure yet if he's playing.
Well,
and if he's not, I'd probably fire up Simeon before I fire up White.
I don't know. I think I might.
I just don't like the matchup.
Yeah, Indy's defense they've been all right.
They've been better the last few weeks.
Yeah.
And they were good last year, so I think they're probably just rounding into shape. I don't know. I think I'd just be hesitant. I mean, as a super flex, I think if you have him on the roster, it's very easy to stick him in there and not do a running back or a wide receiver just because of the potential points. And he showed out last week, but I'd just be a little hesitant.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Corey Davis went down in Friday's practice, right? Here we go. Not expected to play Sunday. It's a hip flexor, so he might not.
Yeah.
That's what took Galladay out for many, many games last year in Detroit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, Galladay also took himself out because he didn't want to get hurt again before he got a big contract. So
That's a
I
good
think
point.
Business
That's
decision.
fair.
Yeah. But, I mean, if I was his agent, that's what I would have been telling him, too.
Mm-hmm.
But, I think 3 days after Sunday, I don't know what changed. I don't think that much has changed from Sunday to tomorrow.
No.
That he's going to probably. So I imagine he'll probably not play.
Jimmy Crowder.
I like Crowder. You guys don't like
Jimmy C.
Elijah Moore?
That's what we call him, Jimmy C.
Jimmy C.
Okay.
I'd go with him.
All right, we'll move on to the next game, and that's the Falcons, the Dirty Birds, going to the Superdome to play the Saints, who are without Jameson Winston.
Who dat?
Jamison Winston.
Who dat?
Mr. Crab Legs, Mr. Eat the W. That sucks, though, man. It sucks to see that happen on a horse collar play.
It does.
And I think they should make that penalty more severe than a 15-yard penalty because
expulsion from the league.
There's so many. Well, maybe just from the game, but there's so many injuries that can happen on that play that it's bad. And we make fun of him, but kind of sucks to see him go out like that.
He was. What sucks is that he was fighting to resurrect his career.
Yeah.
And he wasn't doing a half bad job.
No, he wasn't.
He was playing. I liked what he was doing.
Yeah, and fantasy wise, I mean, in a couple of weeks he's put up some pretty decent numbers.
He is hilarious, but
I mean, this game is there a bigger game on the docket this weekend that has more question marks than this game? You have New Orleans quarterback. Is Taysom back? Is it Trevor Simeon who's playing there?
I think I'd fire up Taysom if he's playing for sure.
Yeah, I think I would too. Just because I think they have so many design run plays for Taysom.
Kamara, you fire up.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, Mike Thomas. Still no word on Thomas. He's supposed to be.
He's still 2 to 3 weeks out. Everything I'm reading.
Well, I heard today that they're still not giving any word on him being back with the team. Like he was supposed to.
Yeah, there's a lot.
There's
to that
nothing.
story.
There's more going on there, and I think guys that took him hoping he'd play are probably kicking themselves a little bit right now.
Now they're like, oh, maybe for the playoff run.
Yeah,
maybe.
I mean, that's what you have to do. You have to keep convincing yourself that these guys return.
You don't want to cut somebody like that either.
No, you can't. Because you cut him, and then he shows back up, and his first game back, 18 catches for 210 yards and 3 touchdowns.
And when he comes back, he will get a lot of work.
Yeah,
he will.
He's got to. Although Traquan Smith had a pretty decent game. I think he just came back from injury as well.
How did Callaway do? I just have not been monitoring him because I haven't started him in 6 weeks.
Callaway's been so inconsistent for me. I kind of lost interest in Callaway as well. But
look that up, and we'll get into Atlanta.
But now they got Mark Ingram too in there.
Yeah, I'm not starting Mark Ingram yet. He's nice. I think we're just talking regular football. It was nice to see him back. I think they were really happy having him in the building, and he kind of got them going too when he got in the game. I gotta wait and see what his workload is going to be like before, and especially if Taysom Hill plays. They were not shy about giving him the ball in the red zone, and that would be taken away from probably what the real role for Ingram would be if you were going to start him.
Good point. Callaway, 3 catches, 30 yards, 5 targets. Yeah, 2 more targets than Traquan, but Traquan caught all his balls for 33 and a touch. Wow. All right, man. So that other big question mark, Atlanta.
Yeah.
I know you got to be devastated if you're a Calvin Ridley owner.
I let him go this year. I'm so happy about that.
Oh, my God. Right before the game, too. Like, not long before.
Yeah, let's say we don't know what's going on, right?
Yeah, I get that.
So, well wishes. Maybe he's got something serious going on. I'd rather him.
Fantasy football is a $1.2 billion industry. Give some people some heads up that you're going to pull this shit.
Like I said before, I think you got to think about yourself first in situations like this. So, hope everything's okay with him. That being said, it is a real.
Like, can I just get a dubious tweet or something?
It's a shitty thing.
Seriously.
Give me a heads up.
At this point, I mean, depending on how much you invest into fantasy football, like you should have these guys. You should have access to their cell phones.
Yeah, you're right.
How you feeling today? You all right? Them legs a little limber? What are you thinking? You 2 touchdowns in you? What's going on?
Get Calvin on the line right now.
Go ahead. So we don't know. I mean, and it's a shame. I think
it's a shame.
Brandon Marshall kind of helped foster these players into talking about their emotions and their struggles, and
mental health is what we call it in the biz.
Mental health, and then this happens, and you don't know what his struggles are. But on the flip side of that, right, it's a business. So I mean, I couldn't just not show up to work to do what I'm paid to do because I'm feeling a little down on myself.
Well, you could.
You could, but you're not going to have that job for very long, and then you're going to have to go through remediation. There's the whole process that you'd have to go through with HR.
Hear about that.
Exactly. And how bad are things when you get paid millions and millions of dollars to play a game? Though
this is the worst take in the world.
It's not a
worst take in the world.
So you have
How's it a bad take?
Because people that have mental issues, the money doesn't really matter.
I get that, but
I don't think you do.
Chosen to play a game, though. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, how bad are the issues that when you're playing a game, life is tough?
Because if you're having these issues, the game doesn't mean it. You have no idea what's going on. It could be a million different things.
It would lead me to believe that.
So that means that you shouldn't be dependable.
Sounds like you're skeptical about why he's not playing. That's what it sounds like.
No, not skeptical. I'm curious to see how bad things are and how long have these bad things been going on. And mind you, we don't have to get into it, obviously.
We're into it.
He's got personal privacy that
we're totally into it.
He doesn't have to disclose any of this information.
Yeah, he doesn't. All right, so who are we starting? Who are we looking at? Is it Gage? Is it Zacchaeus?
So Gage didn't have any targets at all last week. Pitts put up a stinker. You have Zacchaeus and Taiji Sharp actually, I think, led the team in targets last week.
Taiji Sharp, is that Tennessee Titans?
Yeah,
Taiji Sharp.
Yeah, Taiji's been around for a while.
Yeah, he has
6 seasons, I think, 6 or 7 seasons.
It should give Kyle Pitts a bump, right? Like we were talking about, even though it didn't pan out.
Yeah, it didn't last week.
But it was short notice, like you said, so maybe with a week of game planning, they can maybe change the way they're running things.
I think
you're obviously starting Pitts no matter what, right? So
I mean, you can't not start Pitts.
So Sharp or Gage? I guess probably the big question is the case.
I don't know, man. I think Sharp. I'd like to say Gage, but he's just
with the amount of targets he had last week. I think I would go with Taiji Sharp too.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Only in desperation.
Or do we think what's his face gets more targets?
Who's what's his face?
Pitts.
No.
Zacchaeus?
No. Gage?
I can't remember his name. Cordero. There you go.
Right. There's a start. I would definitely start.
I think Cordero's almost in the conversation every week to at least be a flex consideration.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we wasted a lot of time, so let's move on to our next game. Minnesota at Baltimore. Minnesota coming off a disappointing loss to the Cooper Rush Cowboys. And wow. But where are we at with Minnesota? Is anything changing here? We're still firing up Thielen and Jefferson, right? We're not wavering on either one of those guys.
No, I mean, how can you sit them? How can you sit Dalvin Cook? They're guys you can't sit, right? So the conversation is then,
do it.
Do you play KJ Osborne? Do you play Tyler Conklin? Probably not. I wouldn't play either of those guys in this game, but you're going to definitely fire up your studs.
And then with Baltimore,
you got your definitely starting Lamar. I mean, you never sit Lamar if Lamar is in a game. Hollywood's looked really good, man, as of late.
He has.
Hollywood's been tearing it up.
How do you guys feel about Bateman?
A lot of hype around Bateman without a lot of production.
I feel, what was his, bring up the box score for that game.
That was what,
Was this his second
last
game?
week.
Yeah, last week. Yeah, because I feel like he got a little more involved. You could change the week right up there.
There it was. I was looking for. I couldn't. I was like, I knew it's.
I feel like he got a little bit more involved last week, and Lamar's throwing the ball more. Yeah. And maybe he's a guy you can sneak and stash for the playoff run. Just a speculative thing, because what I seen, he looked. Well, I don't think. Well, I know in our dynasty you can't extend the guy that you pick up off waivers. But I don't know how it works in Rockies League.
Oh, okay.
All right, let's see here. Let's bring it up. Where are they at?
And the running back room is still a mess for Baltimore.
Yeah, I want to say they might be getting Latavius back this week.
Real quick. Oh, you know what? We'll talk about that when we get to that game. I just realized it's on the docket.
Where the hell are they?
I know, but we're going to move on. You let me know when you get to that. We're going to go to the...
Mark Andrews.
I'll be looking.
I think you automatically start.
It didn't change the week. That's why.
We're talking about the Chargers going to the worst city in America, Philadelphia. And
America's Hiney Hole, as it's referred to.
Rockies.
I tell you what, I think Mike Williams is on the fringe of a guy you have to start every week and kind of just ride it out with him. But he hasn't been great lately. He started off super hot, and it's kind of gone in the shitter since then. And the Chargers haven't looked great the last 2 weeks either.
No, they have not.
All right, this is impossible. I ain't getting back to
all right, so we'll you know what? Look it up yourselves. All right. But I still think, Eckler is a definite. You're still going to start Allen. You're probably starting Herbert. And I think you still start Williams. I think there's a group of players. Like I think another one is Cooper, where Amari Cooper, where you're going to start them, and at the end of the year they'll probably be a top 25 guy, but you're going to have down weeks, and you're just going to have to kind of roll with them.
For sure.
Mike Williams, I think, is clearly there. I mean, the last 3 games, I think he's been under 6 points or something like that.
Yeah, he has.
And he had some ridiculous games early in the year. I just think you still have to start him.
And those guys are so tough, man. They go off for close to 40 points some weeks, and then nothing.
It's the worst.
Crickets.
I hate a player like that, man.
It's so bad.
Nothing more frustrating than that.
That's
Super.
Like Keenan Allen.
Mr. Consistency.
Yeah. Consistent.
Yeah. Emmanuel Sanders was one this week. He put up a big dud.
A big old bagel.
I fired him up in a bunch of leagues.
Yep.
Beasley went off.
Beasley went off.
Yeah.
As another guy. Some weeks you get great Beasley. Other weeks you get,
He's like a Renfro.
You get terrible Beasley.
Yeah, I guess he is like a Renfro. Renfro was steady. I think more steady this year for a while, but right now they're about the same, I guess.
Well, Renfro is about to get a big uptick in targets there. Just saying.
He is.
So with Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts has his first real stinker of the year as fantasy goes. Top 5 quarterback all year. I'm just gonna put him in and play him. I don't look at last week as nothing more than an aberration as far as his numbers go. Beyond him though, I don't know who I'm starting there.
Devonta Smith, I'm usually confident in, but Devonta Smith has had a couple of games where he's been non-existent too.
Goddard?
Goddard.
Yeah, I guess Goddard. Yeah, Goddard.
I think Goddard and Hurts are the two must starts there.
I always forget about Goddard.
He's a forgettable guy.
Yeah, that's it, right? We're not starting any of those wide receivers, running back. I'm not.
He's a bad
Boston Scott,
he's
Kenneth
a great
Gainwell.
Fantasy, horrible football quarterback.
He's a great fantasy quarterback.
Yeah, but by the end of the first half, you're sweating Hurts. You're sweating that 3 points at halftime.
Oh yeah.
And then trash time comes around, and you're like, yes.
He
Thank God.
He's delivered almost every week besides last week this year. So we'll roll with it. All right. So Tennessee at LA, and a lot of changes for these two teams. LA trading for Mr.
Von Miller.
Mr. Von Miller, and hey, they have like 2 draft picks next year, so they're going all in, and I think that's going to help them, and it might affect this game actually. In Tennessee, you find out King Henry is gone for the year.
Well, we don't. I don't think we know the year
Well,
yet.
8 weeks they said at least, but
Is that the timetable now?
yeah,
All right.
he's gone for the fantasy year, right? Fantasy, he's ruled out.
Son of a gun.
Maybe.
And
Yeah, I
it's
think
the-
he's out for fantasy.
It's the 5th metatarsal, for crying out loud. Chop that son of a bitch off.
Nobody knows what he's saying.
Sew that up. It's the pinky toe. Chop that bad boy
okay.
off, sew it up, and get out on the field. Ronnie Lott used to play with sideways fingers, for crying out loud. Come on now. Get out there, King Henry. He's got almost $1,000 in rushing yards, and it's
That's
only
true.
week 8.
But will he be as good of a runner without his toe?
And he'd be as good a runner without one of his
No,
feet.
I feel like you kind of need your toe for balance.
I don't know. That guy could be out there on a peg leg, and I think he's still running for a bunch of yards. It's funny because it's going to be at least 3 or 4 weeks before anyone even overtakes him for the rushing league.
Yeah, so Adrian Peterson, they picked up, right?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
I was thinking Jeremy McNichols, but I guess Tennessee wasn't thinking that.
Not at all. He had no carries.
I still think
Speaking
that
of guys
Peterson
running on
would
one
be.
leg.
I think Peterson will still be valuable because I still think he'll be able to run tough, and if they get in the red zone, he's going to get goal line carries. So maybe a flex consideration type of guy.
It's a ground and pound kind of team.
I don't think
They
it's a
like
ground
to-
and pound team anymore.
Well, they like to run the ball.
Yeah.
So he's going to get a lot of touches.
You
I don't know, man.
I don't know. I'm not there with
They
him.
like before the season started, I wasn't as high on Henry because I thought they were trying to really commit to throwing the ball more and giving it to him less. Obviously wrong.
Yes.
But he's not there. And I don't know that you're bringing Adrian Peterson to give him the rock 20 times a game. At this age. I would say you're probably going to lean on the guy you just gave. What did they give Jones? He's over 11 million still,
Yeah,
right?
he's give him a nice size
Julio
check.
Jones.
Oh,
you got
yes.
A.J. Brown, who's been balling the last few weeks.
Yeah.
I think they may
Start to open it up
change
a little
their
bit. I think they have
offensive
to.
philosophy a little bit. Yeah, because
What I
you
think
gave Henry the ball that many times because he could win you a game. I don't think Peterson or anybody else in the roster is going to be able to
let's just say they're
do
not
half of that.
if they're deep in their own side of the field, they're not giving Adrian any touches. I think Adrian is going to be strictly goal line carries
And short yardage probably.
inside the red zone. I think they're gonna. I think you're right. I think you're gonna open it up through the air. They have to, man. You just paid Julio all this money, right, to bring him into town.
Yeah.
You paired him with one of the best wide receivers in the
Brown
league.
is going off, man.
Going off big time.
Yes.
That's how, in the Rams, we're
He's
talking
the
about a guy
man.
going off, Cooper Kupp. We don't have to talk about him. You're starting Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
I think the only question is Van Jefferson.
The wide receiver 3. Who knows? They don't even know.
Like what's going on?
They don't even know.
I still think you play Woods if you have him.
Absolutely.
Stafford, I think a great
Darrell
play.
Henderson.
I think the real question is Higbee.
Yeah.
I think during these, you're probably gonna have to start Higbee if you have him on your roster with all the buys.
Don't ask me, man, because
But-
I have him on like 60% of my teams. When I play him,
Yeah.
he's shit. When I
Shit,
don't
yeah.
play him, he goes off.
Yeah. So I mean, is there anything else at Henderson you're playing? Is there anybody we want to mention that maybe you're not? Who is somebody you would fade this week on that offense?
On that offense?
I think you're firing everybody up, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I would.
Especially against that defense. All right. So we get to our last game that we're going to talk about today, and that's your guys' favorite team, the Bears, going to Steel City.
We can beat him, right? I think we can beat him.
Matt
Matt Nagy stays home, we win.
Yes, if he still has the sniffles.
I don't know
it's
if you
ours.
win, but you compete for sure.
You know, Mac and Quinn have to have great games.
I don't know that Mac is back this week, though.
Now, I tell you what, Khalil Herbert looks legit, man.
Khalil Herbert is good, with Montgomery is going to be an awesome 1-2 punch.
Yes,
That is absolutely.
And Tariq Cohen is gone.
And you throw in Tariq Cohen was probably going to be gone anyway.
Yeah,
But you throw a little RPO in there with Fields, those 2 running backs.
yeah.
That should
So
open
I
up
running
a
a
little
pro
bit.
set with a 2-back.
Pro set.
Hey, why not? Why not?
Yeah.
What do we got to lose?
We're gonna turn into Air Force. Running the Air Force offense in the NFL. Fantastic.
Why not?
All right, so Chicago. I liked what I seen out of Mooney.
Yeah, Mooney stepped up this past week. Allen Robinson, man, I don't know what's going on there.
Komet had a few. I was watching. They're using him a lot as a decoy.
Who, Komet or Robinson?
Robinson.
Yeah,
but I'm
close
saying,
one.
how was Komet's game? I didn't go and look at the box score. I did see a couple highlights of him making a couple catches. Is he on the uptick at all, or
He's just steadily in the low target range.
Yeah, so he'll get.
I mean, he'd have to break one,
four
but
targets.
You need him to score a touchdown. All right.
Oh, he's touchdown dependent.
I think they're still trying to feel their oats, man. This past week, they finally opened up the offense a little bit. Not everything was inside of 10 yards. Mm-hmm. So if you start to stretch the field a little bit,
yeah.
Komet's a great runner.
Down the seam,
he's pretty
right?
fast. He's got great hands. He's a big dude.
Yeah,
he's
big.
like a younger version of Jimmy Graham, who also comes back off the COVID list this week. So you might see some red zone targets for Jimmy.
Okay.
But then again, Jesse James.
Jesse James
looked okay, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. But on the Pittsburgh side, you firing up Najee Harris?
You have to.
Oh, yeah. Against what I just saw.
Yeah, that wasn't. It was more of a statement than a question. I agree. Yes.
God, yes.
Yeah.
You start
Najee Harris, Deontay Johnson. You have to start too.
Claypool. Yep.
I don't know, man. I'm not sold on Claypool.
No?
I think Claypool's up and down.
I think Claypool, if he had better quarterback play, would be a star.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean,
next year.
See some of these throws that Roethlisberger's throwing out there. It's a little scary.
Roethlisberger has definitely not aged as well as Tom Brady. Let's just say that.
Not at all.
Well, he's still. I'm pretty sure Roethlisberger's still choking down cheeseburgers, and Brady probably hasn't seen one in years.
Brady is doing yoga.
Did you guys see the Brady Subway commercial?
Yeah,
that's like a perfume parody, and then at the end they're like, "You don't eat bread."
Brady's actually had some decent commercials this year.
Yeah, he's funny.
He got the other one too, the other Subway one where they're like, and we don't even have time for a spokesman. He's like, I'm Tom, and they cut away. So good.
Have you ever seen the Dick Sporting's Good commercial that he did?
No,
oh man, I'll show you guys. All right, well, I think it's time for us to get into our short waiver section. A little longer this week with the injuries, but take it away, Mark.
No, we'll keep it abbreviated. I don't like to talk. All right, so let's Mr. Ridley. All right, we don't know what's going on with him. We'll concede that. All right, I hope you feel better, buddy. With Ridley out of the lineup, you may want to invest in Gage. No targets. Zacchaeus and again Taiji Sharp. You have that injury that we just highlighted with King Henry. They pick up Adrian Peterson, and I doubt McNichols is still on your waiver wire, but if he is, I have a feeling McNichols is going to be the bigger part of that offense than Adrian Peterson, who hasn't touched a ball in game action in probably, 20...
30 years?
Something like that. We had Miles Sanders went on the IR. We thought Gainwell was going to take over that backfield. He did not. We saw the resurgence of one Mr. Jordan Howard and also Boston Scott. Each of those guys, I believe, scored a pair of touchdowns and apparently are taking over that backfield. Although I think Gainwell did get, I think he had somewhere in the neighborhood of 13 touches. Just didn't do much with them. Jameis is out. All right. Keep your eye on late in the week who they plan on starting. If Tyson obviously clears concussion protocol, it's going to be Hill's team. If not, you might have Trevor Siemian going for you. Might be a real cheap speculative ad in a super flex league where you have one of your quarterbacks sitting. And lastly, with that same scenario, Mike White. Mike White gets the start again with the Jets. Who knows, man? It's magic last week. Maybe he catches magic again this week. And that's it. That's all I got for waivers.
You have any waivers you want to mention?
Not at all.
All right. That was pretty quick. So this is going to take us to a new segment. I think it's just going to be an end of the year segment called "'Tis the Season," and we're going to be talking about our favorite holiday foods, boys. That foods incorporates desserts, snacks of the like, beverages, if you will.
Okay. Like
anything?
where this is going?
Yeah, I mean, we are obviously authorities on the subject.
This
right?
is something we probably know more about than fantasy football.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. So, I mean, we're going to do a little ranking here. And, this is kind of, we just tossed this together. So, we're just going to count it down. I don't know, you guys want to go 3? I think 3 is not enough.
3 what? 3 of our favorite foods for the holiday season?
Yeah, let's go 5. And listen, we're not going to take too long. You give a brief explanation of why you love this food or drink or whatever. And we'll keep it moving. So we'll start with your 5th favorite. Hey, and you're not married to this. So you hold the rights to rejigger it in later episodes. But let's start at 5. Lewis, what do you got?
For my number 5, I think I'm going to go with good old coquito.
It's a good one.
Coquito is the elixir of the gods.
I like that you call it an elixir too.
Definitely. It is.
I make it and sell it too, by the way.
I make it as well. I don't sell it. I drink
think
it.
mine are better.
I'm gonna have to try yours this year.
I
Did I
got
give
you.
you
I
mine?
got you.
I had a bad dealer last year.
Oh, that's bullshit. We take time.
I don't do flavors and stuff. I just do.
We do flavors too.
Yeah, I do traditional coquito.
We do traditional as well.
All right, we get it, you son of a bitch. Stop trying to one-up them.
All right, so Coquito, right?
Yeah.
All right.
I'll go with that.
All right, what do you got for number 5?
For number 5, man,
Coquito might sneak into my number 5 spot, buddy. I don't know.
I don't know if I can give them in any particular order. I'm just gonna shoot off the cuff here.
Well, this is an order. You give it in an order. You always want to play outside the lines of what we're doing.
All right, well then you go next. I have
I'm
to get my.
I'm seeing it. I haven't even thought about it.
I have one thing on my mind.
Hey,
but
it's not the end of the world, guys.
my
Just say
number
fucking
one.
food.
Please, no cranberry.
All right.
He eats it by the can.
All right. I love this time of year. I love fresh baked homemade chocolate chip cookies.
That's so weird.
Is it weird?
I don't
think
know.
It's weird at all.
No. Cookies aren't weird. I'm not saying that.
All right.
I'm saying, but that you equate it with the holidays.
I do. Just we do a lot of cookie making, like around Christmas time, and there's always, I think it's because you leave cookies out for Santa, that whole thing.
So this is a Mullen thing.
So we are always, there's cookies in our kitchen
Littered around the house.
all December long.
So
Actually,
really, your wife's really
starts
setting
in
you up for
November.
failure.
I would think more sugar cookie.
Sugar cookie, dude, they're there
holiday
too.
season.
I look forward to the chocolate chip ones though. The warm, baked, fresh out of the oven. You bite in, gooey chocolate drips down.
Oh, you're
Burns just a little. You wash it down with some milk or some coquito, whatever you
that
want.
I want. All right.
You can have some coquitos and chocolate chip cookies.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Don't get
I'm gonna have to go with Coquito. I wasn't thinking about it.
that you also make and sell.
Yes, it's very good. You can
Flavors?
find me on. No, but
Find me on Wish.
only locally. I don't ship. So, yeah, Coquito, man. You need a lubricant. I'm a big lubricant guy. You need lubricant for the holidays.
Yeah. Too
Right?
much information.
So,
Slightly too much information.
Coquito's my lube.
Agreed.
What's your number 4?
Number 4, I'm gonna go with
Christmas, Thanksgiving. Think both.
Oh,
Think
yeah.
both.
Christmas in a
pinch.
Latino household.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's are pretty much the same thing. They are the
More
same types of food.
not for us because
the
we're
same
mixed. So yeah,
I'm not.
I am.
Yeah, nobody's perfect. So I will go with as my number 4, pateles.
Yeah. See, they don't crack my 5, but they're probably 6.
Okay, so they're close.
Yeah.
You might be more scungili or a little kabagoo, something like that. But a patele or
patele.
/ tamale.
I do have a friend in the neighborhood that is not confused about his ethnicity that does some pateles during the holiday season, and they are fantastic, man.
They're good.
Pateles, I am a huge fan of some pateles.
Are you a top 5 fan?
No,
right, well, shut the fuck
I haven't
up
been.
then, right?
I haven't been exposed to them long enough.
Let's kiss your ass over here.
Oh man, he's a fellow Bears fan. Finally, somebody on the show
I see.
that has good taste for crying out loud.
Pateles are good. I love a patele. But when I was young, I didn't like them. So
Neither did I.
I'm a newly converted patele guy.
So am I, as an adult.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, couldn't.
I mean,
like
I'll
the
mow
smell,
through. I'll
nothing.
mow through. Yeah, it was disgusting. All I thought about was my grandma eating them. I didn't want that.
Now I can barely get the wrapper off.
Yeah, they're
before I'm,
pretty
like,
good.
Tearing them up.
What do you got?
All right, man.
You got a list over here.
I'm trying to come up with it on the fly. I mean, there's so many delicious foods associated with the holidays.
Chocolate chips being one of them.
For Christmas, yes, man. Yes. Well, I'm going to stick in the dessert realm.
I bet you are.
I am. Who doesn't
Is it gonna be
enjoy
cheesecake?
Oh,
Okay.
pumpkin pie,
Okay,
man.
pumpkin pie.
Tis the season for some pumpkin pie, right?
It's going
I mean,
based on your first pick.
I don't have it, I don't eat pumpkin pie at any other time of the year other than around
Yes.
Thanksgiving. That's
Yeah.
the only time we indulge in pumpkin pie, so
Yes.
I look forward to that.
I don't
Yeah.
think they make it any other time of the year. I think it's only.
Yeah, I mean, you can,
You can find a stray pie hanging around.
yeah,
Pumpkin?
here and there.
Just know that when you buy that pumpkin pie in July, it was from last November.
Well, I mean, they got
Probably true. Yeah.
got the canned pumpkin with the preserves. I mean,
Oh, I
but
don't
I
want to
feel
do
like
that.
he's looked into this.
I feel the holiday spirit when it comes around, you look forward to the pumpkin pie.
There's certain things you save for the holidays because they mean more.
Because it's special.
Yeah.
Like chocolate chip
I'm
cookies.
with you.
It's the only time of year that I eat chocolate chip cookies.
That's a lie.
This time of year is a big fall comes, everything is pumpkin.
Yeah.
Pumpkin.
But pumpkin pie is the original pumpkin.
Pumpkin
That's the
tastes
OG
like
pumpkin.
crap. What you like is cinnamon, nutmeg.
Listen, the
You
pumpkin
like
pie
those
is what it
spices
is.
that are in it, because pumpkin by itself does not taste like pumpkin pie.
That's fair.
It's true.
So, I mean, you like cinnamon and nutmeg. With a little bit of pumpkin.
With a little bit of pumpkin mixed in.
Splash of pumpkin.
A little sprinkle.
Pumpkin by itself is very tart. And I don't know if you've ever cut one of them some bitches open. There's not much in there.
And it stinks.
And it does.
I did cut a few
stink.
jack-o'-lanterns this year, and man,
I like how deep we're digging on this. But it is the OG pumpkin product.
Hey, pumpkin. Hey,
Pumpkin
Halloween,
pie was the
Thanksgiving.
first pumpkin
Yep.
edible product that really.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, way before pumpkin spice anything, it was a pumpkin pie.
Yes.
So,
Absolutely.
The originator. The OG,
you got that going for you.
the
with
OP.
that one.
Original pumpkin.
All right, my number 4. Ooh, man, it's a toughie. It is a real toughie. I'm gonna go with a cookie, and I'm gonna have to go with my grandmother's anisette cookies. I don't know if you guys have ever had them, but I'll get you some this year because we make them. But
My family used to do that.
they're delicious.
I'll get you some of them for a small fee.
It's my favorite cookies. We make them only around Christmas time.
You sound a lot like my coquito dealer.
I am your coquito dealer. But they're delicious.
Push it.
I mean, I don't know if you ever, but it's just a real simple dough. Nice anisette frosting that goes on top with sprinkles, but they're addictive. You just can't stop eating them. It's an Italian cookie, so it comes from the Italian
That
realm.
is a delicious cookie.
Yeah, I love that cookie.
Those are
All right, so 3. I feel like we're taking long with
Okay,
these
3.
descriptions, right?
Let's go.
Go a little quicker.
Number 3, arroz con gandules, which is a red rice and
He's really
gandule
going
bean.
there.
Let me tell you, that's like a grandma rice. That's made in the big, ugly metal pot that looks like it's been around.
The worst pot.
That came like with Christopher Columbus, like
Yeah.
just old, and makes the best damn rice. And that rice and bean combo is completely holiday
It
season.
depends on who's making it, but yes.
Well, that is true. It usually has to be somebody's grandmother or somebody that grew up in the church or something.
Yes. All right, what do you got? I'm calling mashed potatoes and gravy.
No, because I eat mashed potatoes throughout the year.
Yeah.
So I'm good.
There's
with
some people, I know a guy that his favorite Thanksgiving food is mashed potatoes and gravy.
that. Really?
Yeah, it's complete psychopath, but
Is Rocky?
no.
No, Rocky.
We haven't talked about Rocky today enough.
No, we have not. I'm willing to bet that fist-sized meatballs cracks his top
Those the
5.
ridiculous meatballs, those meteors,
It's like an ostrich egg of beef.
they were so bad. All right.
All right, so this elicits the holiday feeling in me, and it's grown on me the last couple of years. When you juice it up, you spike it up a little bit with some rum, is eggnog. Because eggnog feels like the holiday season to me.
I hate eggnog.
I'm not a terrible, I'm not like, I could go for a glass of eggnog, but it's the season, man. It puts you in the feeling of the season.
That's coquito from
Throw a
me.
little bit of rum in there.
I don't even think about eggnog.
Eggnog is our cookie.
Or
pretty much.
coquitos are eggnog. Yeah,
exactly.
basically. All right,
Yeah,
so I mean,
see where you get
it's
that.
respectable,
It
yeah.
brings the feeling.
it's
of the
time to
season.
get some eggnog. I get it. All right, so it's my turn. All right, I'm gonna go with not arroz con gandules. I'm gonna go with penin because for us, we have that Christmas and Thanksgiving, and I don't know if you've had pernil before, right?
I don't even know what
It's a
the hell you're
pork.
saying.
roast pork.
Roast pork.
Roast pork. Yeah, I've had roast pork before.
I'm gonna give you haven't had pernil, so that shit. Oh my god. I mean, I like it better than the turkey. Obviously, it's way better than the turkey.
We don't cook turkey.
Yeah, we cook turkey too. We do a turkey. We do the penin. Yeah, I know you like super Spanish. I know you don't cook the turkey.
No,
No, I mean I get it. My wife, they don't cook a turkey either.
Is it because it dries out on you? Is that?
They don't know how to cook it.
horribly dry. But
You gotta know how to cook.
You gotta know how to cook
my
it.
wife's grandmother makes the best turkey
Yeah.
that it tastes like a beignet.
Oh wow.
There is so much bacon involved.
Oh
in this
well, there you go.
Like the turkey's in like a bacon straitjacket.
Yeah.
It looks like Hannibal Lecter.
But
that turkey I could eat.
Turkey could be good though if it's prepared the right way.
Yeah, if I guess.
I mean, you could. There's ways to bake it. Like, there's a way I do. I brine it for like 3 or 4 days, and then you bake it in a certain way where you definitely got to be on top of it with temperature too. But you can insulate it, kind of keep the moisture from escaping. Who's calling me? Right? Or you could get it fried, deep fry it too. Delicious that way.
That would burn your house down.
If you don't know what you're doing, yeah, obviously. But there's a few things that can burn your house down if you don't know what you're doing. All right, so number 2.
We'll talk about how to cook a turkey.
Number 2 for me.
I don't need to know how to cook. Thank you.
Number 2 for me is a roast pork as well.
Okay, so that's
definitely on my list.
We're locked up right there.
My list. Yeah, that's our turkey.
Yeah.
Normally, would have only the one protein. It would be that, and it would be like a freaking 10-pound.
Yeah, so like the
meat.
The turkey for me is like the eggnog for you.
Yeah.
Like it's representative of the holiday, so I'll have the turkey.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm going dark meat for sure. But the pork outclasses it. But I'm sorry. Go ahead. Number 2.
Number 2. I'm going for my favorite meal of the holiday season, and it happens on Black Friday. It is that leftover turkey sandwich.
Oh man,
I look forward to.
This is
the thick sliced white bread that you toast. You get a nice little light
Texas
toast on
toast.
there, right? Give a little bit of mayonnaise. I know you're not a mayonnaise
I hate
fan.
all of this, by the way.
A little bit of mayonnaise.
Everything
right?
you're saying, I hate.
Some turkey, and then an old family stuffing recipe where my grandma was in her stuffing used mustard. It's mustard base, and it's got a fantastic flavor with a little bit of a little slice of tomato, some salt and pepper. Fantastic Black Friday food. Yeah, give or take the cheese. Most times I go without the cheese just because there's so much flavor on it. Without it, that I don't need the extra calories. Kind of watching I watch my figure around the holiday
big ass
season.
greasy sandwich.
Yeah.
Let me just hold the cheese.
Just a fucking half pound of mayonnaise, probably. All right.
No, I said a thin layer.
Thin to you,
Thin layer.
different things. All right, so number 2, I'm gonna go with stuffing. I'm a big stuffing guy. I know that's how I like homemade stuffing, and I like stovetop stuffing too. I like them both. I've had them both, and I tell you what, I've tasted stuffings that are better, and I've tasted stuffings that are not as good as stovetop. Last year, actually, you'll be delighted to know that the Hawaiian Roll Company makes their own stuffing, same exact way, but with the Hawaiian
Using
brand.
their bread.
King's?
Delicious.
King's makes it? Yeah.
King's. No, wait. No, it was at Aldi, so it was like the off-brand, but it was delicious.
Really?
Like Aldi, you could buy the Hawaiian rolls, like the same thing.
So their rolls are from like Fiji.
Yeah, whatever it is, they're the same, but it's like
a Hawaiian roll stuffing.
Yeah, they come in a blue and orange box. I bought them; they were friggin' delicious, and the girls love them because they like the Hawaiian rolls.
Dude,
that shit was
I
good.
gotta keep an eye out for that.
Oh yeah, you go get them.
If you see them, pick me up a couple boxes.
Okay, I got you.
Vice
They're
versa.
$1. I will donate them to you. So stuffing, man, I just love. I mean, honestly, on Thanksgiving Day, it's the thing I probably look forward to the most because it's the only day of the whole. Like Benny, we have here and there. Everything else, that's the one thing that I never eat any other day of the year besides that day, and I look forward to it.
For the same reason, I've become a big stuffing fan over probably the last 10 years. Man.
I think I've liked it more.
As you got older?
Recently,
Yeah, I love
I used to
stuffing.
never touch that.
It's the first thing that I
Really?
go back for seconds.
I'm like, oh, you cooked it
Yeah.
inside the damn turkey? I'm like, oh, I don't want that.
Yeah, no.
knows
Well,
what's
see,
in there?
even our homemade ones,
This shit was
like the ones my
touching
grandmother
gizzards.
did, she did them separate. Like they would season them separate. Like we never did the ones inside the turkey. So maybe
so
that's where it's.
Yeah, I don't want to eat something that's cooked.
All
in
right,
a
so
turkey's cavity.
number 1. Let's get to number 1. Here
Number
we go.
one, flan.
Oh wow.
Flan is.
We don't even do flan. We don't
No?
do flan. Nope.
Are you putting a G on the end of that?
Flan.
That's it. Yeah.
Flang?
I just always say it like that. Flan.
Flan.
Oh.
Yeah.
It sounds like it. But
Flan.
It's still,
Flan.
we're still talking about flan, though.
Flan.
No, flan, not flang.
Okay, flan.
I wanted to make sure it was the same shit, guys.
No, you should say it the way you're saying it, though.
It is the same.
Flan?
Yeah.
Flan. I like the flan.
There's like there's a little spice, a little spice on the way we say it. I think I don't know why.
A little
but-
bit. Yeah, it's just.
Yeah, we don't do that. We do
that
icebox cake. Icebox cake.
the hell is that?
Icebox cake is good too.
You make homemade pudding, graham crackers, Cool Whip or whipped cream, and you freeze it.
Oh, you had me a pudding.
So you do like graham crackers.
Had me a pudding.
You do graham it's like a lasagna kind of.
Yeah.
You make the homemade pudding. You do graham crackers, put pudding, layer crackers, pudding, layer crackers, pudding. Then you crumble the graham crackers on top with Cool Whip, put it in the freezer.
I didn't realize it was
If you want to change the game,
Yeah.
I had before everything that you said
Yeah.
right there, but the bottom level
Yeah.
was ice cream sandwiches.
Oh, that might be too much, but
So
you know
all
what?
of that on top of an ice cream sandwich, like those
Yeah.
the chocolate.
Yeah, ice cream sandwich. Yeah,
Man,
you might have to try that.
Oh, you're not a chip witch. No, okay. I was
yeah.
thinking like there's other.
All right, so
sandwiches.
flan is respectable though. We just don't have
Flan
that
is
on our
my
holiday.
numero
So
uno.
yeah, flan is weird.
Because
My
I
mother
make
makes.
great flan.
Oh, you gotta try my mother's flan. Maybe you guys should have a flan off.
We have.
You had a flan off?
I think we did.
And you
Oh,
weren't
we wanna
present
do it
for the
again.
flat off?
Yeah, where was I?
I don't know. Your mom uses sour cream. I don't know.
I don't know what she uses. She won't tell me. All right, your turn.
See, I know the inside scoop. But
Look at you.
He was already dismissing.
I'm like, it's
sour
okay.
cream.
All right, so what's your number one?
Number one, man. It's the protein of the season, dude. It's turkey.
Oh, that's
Turkey
terrible.
is numero uno,
That's a
man.
bad call.
It's the only time of the year that we have it. Thanksgiving and we've kind of switched. Christmas we switched up a little bit. We usually do like a Christmas lasagna now. So usually only have turkey the one time a year.
no ham.
No, I'm not a.
I hate
I
ham.
hate
I'm not
spiral
big on
ham.
Oh,
big.
we're united on one front.
I could
No.
eat deli ham, but
No.
ham.
Deli ham?
Deli ham I can eat.
Deli cooked ham I can get, but I'm talking about
Spiral ham?
the cheap deli cooked ham. I don't like the fancy ham. Just
boar's
want,
head?
No.
no, fuck that. I want cheap like Duman's. Like,
Doing's not cheap. That's like
I'm saying
that's
cheap.
top shelf.
well, it's cheap compared
Dude,
to
you realize that
Boar's
an
Head here.
8-pack of hot dogs from Thuman's is like $25?
I don't order anything. Hot dogs from Duman.
Oh, dude, Thuman has the best hot dogs.
This
Where
is
do
a
you
whole
get
nother
those?
world.
Huh?
Where do you get
Up
those?
north.
All right. So anyway, super thin shaved. Like I can't deal with a thick piece of ham. It's disgusting to me. I don't know how people eat that.
Spiral ham and the shit that they open in the can like it's a giant
Oh,
pig
hell
sardine.
no.
That shit.
Oh, yeah,
is
that's
so
nasty, too.
And it smells so bad. Like how you could even. Yeah, God.
Well, you eat
Ooh, this one
mayonnaise.
has extra slime.
Yeah. How you could even
All
degrade
right, so
your oven like
what
that.
was it? So turkey.
So turkey,
Bad.
but you have to get in there. You got to get in between the skin and the turkey with your butter and all your seasonings, and you got to inject that shit.
More like a turducken.
No, you can save the turkey, you can save the duck. I just want it straight turkey.
That might be the whitest
Or the
thing
chicken,
you've ever
the
said
chicken
on
or the
the
duck.
show, making turkey your number one. I mean, I'm
You
not
just
even
had
a
it
joke.
number 2.
I didn't have turkey number 2.
Yes, you did.
It's stuffing.
That's
yeah,
stuffing.
stuffing.
I mean, turkey's not even.
Turkey is the protein of the season, dude. Turkey.
All right,
turkey
stop saying that. Like it makes it the best.
encapsulates Thanksgiving.
Turkey's like it's
Turkey has
it's living off reputation is what it's doing.
When the Pilgrims came over here and they stole
my
this land,
Oh yeah.
Go back to the pilgrims.
turkey.
All right, so my number one is baked ziti. So now you've had my baked ziti.
Yes.
Baked ziti,
Your baked ziti
number one of the season.
is delicious.
What do you do? Which holiday do you do it for, or do you do it like throughout the
Excuse me?
holiday season?
Oh, we do it. We'll have it for Thanksgiving and we'll have it for Christmas too.
So Thanksgiving like side dish or no, like main course?
No, Thanksgiving we'll have a turkey. We'll have the roast pork.
So
we'll
you have like a bunch of, like,
we have a
dishes.
bunch of shit. Yeah, we have a lot. We'll have rice. We'll have the ziti, and then we'll have like 4 or 5 side dishes and then desserts. We go a little crazy for Thanksgiving, but then we make it for Christmas too.
Yeah. Like I said, we do that. The Christmas
And then throughout the
lasagna.
year, we only make it like I'll make it like maybe 2, maybe 3 times. So it's still kind of really centered around the holiday season.
The holidays.
But that was fun, man.
Yeah.
You got me. I'm fucking starving.
Oh yes, I am too.
I ate right before the show, and I could eat again now.
I'll tell you what, though, it's time.
I want some stuff. I'm going home and making some stuffing. I think.
I'm going to Aldi and try to find
I mean,
that Hawaiian bread.
It's time to get into our picks,
It's
guys.
November, so it's stuffing month.
I gave you my picks.
Well, we do
Oh,
it
you
for
got
the show.
football
You're,
picks.
you're
Oh,
tired?
okay.
All right. So, you want to recap where we're at last week, Mark? You
All
went
right.
2-2.
Last week, I was the sole 2-2 scorer. Put me in a 2-way tie
Loser.
with Rocky. Rocky, Antone, and Phil all went 3-1. So that makes Rocky and I tied for second at 18 and 13. Antone takes the lead at 19-12, and Phil, even with that 3-1 performance, is 15-16. Still losing record, my friend.
That's fine. I'm gaining.
Yeah.
I see it.
Well, I am gaining. That's what is happening.
Well, I mean, technically, you stayed evenly behind Antone and Rocky, and Antone being the leader. But
what about you?
I mean, you're gaining on me.
So I gained.
Is that
the guy that's saying I didn't gain? I gained on you. No,
hanging your hat on?
No. I just take it 1 week at a time. Okay,
all right.
1 week at a time. All I can control is this week and what I do this week, and then we worry about next week. All
right, what do we got? Give it to us.
The board's right there. So we got Cleveland.
Wait. There it is.
At Cincinnati. Cleveland is +2.5. On the road with a Cincinnati team that probably wants to get a bad taste out of their mouth. What do you guys got going here?
2.5. I'm going to take Cincy.
2.5. You're going to take Cincy.
I think that it's going to be a little bit of time before Cleveland starts playing like they did, and Cincy does want to make up for the Jets.
Okay.
The Jets,
what about you, sir?
All right, so you went Cincy. I'm going Cincy too, man. I just think, I don't know, that Cleveland offense doesn't seem like it really has an identity. I'm telling, I like Cincy, man. I think Cincy's just a couple of really good, confident plays away from being a very consistent team week to week. I'm going Cincy here too.
All right, I got Tone. He took Cincy as well, and Rocky took Cincinnati as well. I tell you what, I do like Cincinnati in this game, but
you have more ground to make up.
I got to make up some ground.
Still early in the season.
And I do like a dog in the Browns who need to save their season. An unproven Cincinnati team who's proven that they were unproven as they go on the road and lose to a way inferior team. And maybe the Jets showed the Browns a little something on how to slow down that offense. I'll take the Browns to try to make up ground here.
There it is.
Brave man.
And then next we got Philly on the. Oh, you didn't put the ats. Oh shit. All right. So we got Philly at home versus the Chargers. Philly's getting 2.5 at home versus the Chargers. What do you got, Lewis?
Chargers all day long.
Okay.
Philly is Fugazi.
Okay.
And as far as
it's a Fugazi.
I can't think of anything that they have that would bring them to the level of the Chargers. I think
the Chargers have been playing.
They need to.
Yeah,
turn
they
it
need
around
to get
too.
it going. Yeah.
So I'm going Chargers all day.
What say you, sir?
I'm with you, my friend. I'm with the Chargers there, too. I like the Chargers to win that division by the end of the season. I think this is where they turn the ship around, and it's full steam ahead.
Okay, I got Chargers for Tone, and I got the Chargers for Rocky.
Okay.
And I am going to follow up with the Chargers. I will not take a risk here because I don't think Philly has a chance. As good as they looked last week, I don't want to root for them either. So there's that. Next, we'll move to my boys, unfortunately, the Giants, +3 at home versus the Raiders. What say you, sir?
G-Men.
Okay,
Honestly,
G-Men to cover
right
the
now,
3?
Yeah, to cover. Yeah, I think they can cover that out,
The
right?
G-Men plus a field goal. I'm going G-Men here, too. I just think Vegas, man, there's a lot of drama going on in that town right now in recent weeks.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
How long can they keep it together?
It's a long road trip.
I like
and
what
the
I saw.
Giants, they got a bad taste in their mouth from Kansas City. So
Yeah.
Giants for Rocky and Tone as well, and I'm going to take the Giants. If you could cover on the road 10 points with the Chiefs, you could cover 3 at home against the Raiders. So
Good point.
I will take that. And our last game, we got those Bears. The Bears at the Steel City we talked about before. They're getting 6.5 points on the road.
They get no respect ever.
none.
It's a tough spot. Tough spot.
Pittsburgh is not that good. It will be a close game.
Okay.
I think the Bears can pull it out.
Yes.
But if not, it's a loss by maybe a field goal.
So I'm here in
I'm
Chicago.
going to take
here.
Chicago with 6.5.
I got a good feeling that that the Chicago Brass call up Matt Nagy, tell him to stay home.
Okay.
That there's a new sheriff in town, and he likes to throw the ball further than 7 yards down the field.
Yes.
Justin Fields is going to go off this week, and I like the Bears to win outright.
Okay. I like the confidence. I got the Steelers for Tone, and I got Rocky taking the Bears as well. And I'm going to go ahead and go against the grain a little bit here, too, because I need to make up ground. And I think the Steelers at home, 6.5 is a lot. But I'm counting on that defense to be able to confuse Fields a little bit. And I think Najee Harris is going to run wild on this defense.
Steelers just traded Melvin Ingram away, too.
Yeah, whatever. So I still like them to cover by a touchdown. I don't think you guys are going to be able to stop Najee Harris.
You don't get to change this pick halfway through the week like you do every other.
Well, that was one game that we agreed on. So
whatever. You're taking Pittsburgh?
Yes, I'm taking Pittsburgh plus 6.5. I mean minus 6.5.
Minus 6.5.
All right.
There it is.
And that's it. Go make some money, guys.
Always.
All right. Thank you for tuning in. I hope some of our knowledge here has provided some wins in your W column. Go out there and make the playoffs, guys.
And go get that stuffing from Aldi with the Hawaiian bread.
Yeah, look out for that. It is delicious.
That's intriguing.
That is no lie. All right. Hey, so we appreciate you guys coming. I know it's been a little bit of a long episode, and Rocky, we wish you well, whatever in the hell you're doing.
Stay away from those Twizzlers.
Please like and subscribe on YouTube. Hit the notification bell. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook. We're going to be trying to pump out some more content, right?
Yeah.
Mark 2 is going to pump out some more content. If you got questions, please, if you disagree with us on the content. Put it under the picture. Make Mark look stupid. I'm dying for it, all right?
It can't happen.
Well, it can happen. It's happened 5 times today on the show.
Can't do it.
All right.
Not even with your thin arguments.
Like I said, thank you for being here. We appreciate you. Peace.